Hey guys, it's John here at the Flickpick channel, and today we're talking about some movie news. That's my favorite thing to talk about, actually. Let me take a drink of this, hang on. Okay, so the big movie news slash rumor this week is who's going to play Lex Luthor in the upcoming Batman vs. Superman movie due out in 2015. Now, the two rumored casting choices are Bryan Cranston and Mark Strong. Say my name. Lex Luthor. I don't know what the hell those were. Those are supposed to be Heisenberg's glasses. Okay, so let's talk about Bryan Cranston playing this villainous role of Lex Luthor in the upcoming Man of Steel sequel. Does it make sense? Well, yeah, if you've seen Breaking Bad, that guy can play a two-faced liar, a meth maker also, who is capable of playing this bad guy with two personalities. You know, he's gonna do anything he can to lie, cheat, and get his way. Much like the character of Lex Luthor, who's a ruthless asshole who will do anything to keep power. But I think the major downside to all of this is he's already such an established pulp culture character with Breaking Bad. You have Heisenberg, the bald-headed guy who wears glasses and makes meth. And that's great, we love that. So my quick theory would be the producers and everyone involved creatively with Man of Steel the sequel might be a little turned off by the thought of having Bryan Cranston play Lex Luthor, not because of his acting abilities, which are, like I said, great. If you put Bryan Cranston with a shaved head as Lex Luthor in the Man of Steel sequel, there's gonna be so many parodies and jokes about him being Heisenberg in the movie, like, oh, Lex Luthor doesn't want real estate, he wants to make meth in Metropolis. Stuff like that. Yeah, just the other night when I was reading about this, I was imagining Bryan Cranston playing Lex Luthor, and I was gonna have some kind of parody where instead of kryptonite that kills Superman, it was actually going to be meth, you know, because they're both rock hard things. I don't know, that was just... I'm still working on it. It's getting late. Anyway, the next casting choice is Mark Strong. And if you aren't familiar with Mark Strong, he's pretty much the go-to bad guy in Hollywood, or he has been for the last like 4 or 5 years now. Here, I'll show it to you. These are all the movies he's played a bad guy in. But here's my issue with Mark Strong playing Lex Luthor. Even though he's played the bad guy in several other movies, and he does an okay job at it, I don't feel like he ever does a great job. You know, he never stands out. There's never a moment where he plays a bad guy in the movie, and I can just quote that line, or it just gives me chills because I just know that guy's so damn evil. And in my opinion, I don't really want to watch him play this iconic villain, Lex Luthor. You know, I really want someone to spice it up a little bit, and I think Mark Strong could do it, but I just don't feel like he's gonna add that much to it. So Man of Steel 2, or Superman vs. Batman, whatever they're going to call it, I really hope they do put Lex Luthor in this, because don't think of Lex Luthor from the other Superman movies. You know, get that out of your mind, because there's so much they can do with this character, and if you have Lex Luthor as the villain in this movie of Superman and Batman, he really can add a lot to that conflict, because he's kind of like Bruce Wayne, but an evil version in a lot of ways. He's this billionaire, he has a lot of power, he can really manipulate people, and I think that's a good villain to really tie Superman and Batman together in the same universe. I think it would help bring out the best in both of them in the end. And plus, let's not forget about Lex Luthor's mechanical war machine suit. Yeah, that's kind of badass. I'd like to see that on the screen for at least 5-10 minutes. Okay, so here's my final take on all this. If I had to pick between the two actors, I'd definitely go with Bryan Cranston. But in all honesty, I'd rather see Bryan Cranston make him the new Commissioner Jim Gordon in a solo Batman movie, or in this movie, whatever you want to do, please make that guy Commissioner Jim Gordon. I think he'd do better as a likable character rather than a villainous one. So let me know your pick down below in the comments, and by the way, if you haven't already, make sure you check out my last video where I do a Kick-Ass 2 movie review, and I put on some yellow rubber gloves. It's a good time. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.